girl. So got all the rest of my lambs in here today. We are weighing them, and anything that is over 43 kilos is getting marked, and I'll keep that for a fortnight's time and send them straight to the abattoir, and anything below that is getting sexed. So yow lambs are getting a red line across the tail, tup lambs are getting a blue line across the tail. And I'm just going to get all their weights to get an average for the group, and then I'm going to be sending them as stores. I did say I wasn't going to send any lambs as stores, but the way the weather is going, the grass is disappearing quickly, and I really need to start prioritising that for my yows to tup on. So I'm just going to offload the final lambs here. I think there'll be about 100. And just see what I get for them. Hopefully I'll still get good prices because there's nothing wrong with them, they're just that wee bit younger, but I just cannot spare the grass to finish them, unfortunately. So it didn't really take much videos there because, well, it's just the same old. So what I was doing was obviously weighing the lambs, and then I was shedding them 3 different ways, and also sexing them. So lambs that were ready, I wasn't sexing them, they were all just going out the side here, so in there and out to the pass. And there is 81 of them here, averaging 47 kilos, and then I've got 10 pets that are ready as well. So yeah, bigger draw than what I thought, which is really positive. And then I have going straight out gate 1, there's 76, so they're all mixed again now, but I was shedding them out different gates. So 76 out the front here, and they were averaging 38.1 kilos, and that's the ones I was sexing. So I was putting a red line across their tail for yow lambs and blue line across their tail for tup lambs, because some of them could be rigs. So they're going to be sent next week as stores to the mart, and I'm going to separate them next week, weigh them the morning that they go to the mart, and then I can say to the mart, right, this batch is averaging, this yow lambs are averaging X, and these tup lambs are averaging X. It might just hopefully get an extra pound or two, because they can, you know, they don't weigh the store lambs here, they just weigh the lambs that are ready, like the prime lambs. So it just gives the buyers an idea roughly of where they're sitting, how long they might have to keep them for, etc. So just a bit more information might help. So they'll be going next week, and then I have 62 averaging 43.5 kilos. Now, I'm in two minds what I do with these, because if I send them to the mart at 43 kilos, I'm going to get robbed for them, for the weight of them, because they're so nearly ready to go. You know, because they won't have to keep them for long, it's a quick turnaround for them, so they'll buy them cheaper because they'll be classed as store lambs, but they're nearly fat store lambs. Anyway, so I might keep them a fortnight and send them to the killing house, regardless what they're weighing, just the whole batch, because they're averaging 43s at the moment. So if I can give them a bit of a nice flush of grass and hopefully the weather will stay half decent, then, you know, just send them and take what we get. There's only 62 of them, so that's kind of where I'm thinking at the moment. And then there is, besides the 10 pets that are ready, that just leaves 14, I think, so they'll just get added into that 76 stores, and then that'll be us cleared out of lambs. That is going to be a nice feeling, I'm not going to lie. It has gotten to that point where it's like they start getting skittery, they start getting sore feet, they start eating the grass that you need for tupping. So yeah, my heart at this point is not in the lamb game. I love the lambing part, I love all that part, the summer work, etc. But now, no, someone else can take them. I'll focus on my yows again. So yeah, on the whole, you know, what are we, mid-October now? So really pleased with how the lambs have done, considering, you know, we've got 70, say 80 stores with the pets thrown in there. So yeah, really chuffed, considering that we had an absolutely horrendous weather basically since tupping last year. But yeah, considering that we had more heads on the ground, more lambs, more yows, weather has been shocking. the lambs have been doing really well. Really pleased with how the lambs have been doing, and I mean that just shows we're pretty much at the same place we were last year with more head. So this is the furthest point out on the farm, so that's the ewes over there. See the turbines over there in the distance. So they're up on this heathery bit of hill here. And then that green hill there, that's the big hill. That's where the spring cows are. And then the farm's like out down the back of that. So we're well out here. But it's good to get the ewes out on this rough bit just to try and tidy it up a wee bit. Just before they get a wee boost before tupping time. As well as bits with heather on, they also have bits with grass on. It's like rough bits of grass, but I mean it's fine for what they're needing at the moment. So I've just put the first sheep super blocks out, so I've put 6 blocks out here with the ewes, so they'll find it in due course. So they've got all this scope to run around, everything that you can see here right across there, all that stuff. And then just over there in the distance, that's the spring cows. So obviously there's like a fence. There's fences there. So the ewes don't get onto the big hill at the moment, but they've got plenty of scope out round here. That's us about just fully 2 weeks out from lambing. I've given the ewes their blocks. So ideally we'd give these 2 weeks before tupping and then continue for sort of 6-8 weeks through tupping, but because they're on this slightly rougher sort of lower quality grass at the moment, I've put them out just a few days early just to start giving them a wee bit of a boost. They've obviously had their boluses, so they'll be fine that way, and then they'll come closer to the farm for tupping, get split up into batches, and then yeah, in sort of a fortnight, 3 weeks, the tups will be going in. So it's quite scary to think that by that point it'll be end of October, but yeah, this year's just disappearing. Cows are starting to make a mess, so we really need to get the barley brews to get the cows in to try and save the grass for the ewes to tup on. But we'll just, yeah, everything's just sort of been delayed this year with the way the weather's been, and yeah, it's proving to be challenging, but what can we do? We just have to keep going, keep trying our best, and that's all we can do. Lovely morning with a hard frost, well, a touch of frost. I wouldn't say it's a hard frost, but it's fine that it's frosty, it's dry at least. And one frosty morning and I have 2 dead lambs. They were fine yesterday and now they're not fine. I'm guessing it's just pneumonia, like this week's going to be slightly warmer again. I have no idea, but yeah. Don't you just love sheep? So just taking my earlies in here to change the tup colour. There's one tupping today. So lie down, Rox, lie down. So you can see there's quite a lot of red, which is good. That'll do it on the bike, good girl. So I'm changing it to blue today. So I've got the crayons in here. This is the ones we're using. So leftover from last year. Get them used up, and in a fortnight's time obviously tups will go in with the main lot. So the earlies, to try and explain a wee bit what I do with the earlies, I know some people think this is pointless, But what I do is basically teaser them, put the tups in, and I'd like them to be lambing sort of start of March, so sort of about 3 weeks earlier than the main lot, just to try and get some lambs away at a higher price in May before, you know, other folks start to get lambs on the go, and also just takes pressure off a wee bit. You've got 200 ewes lambed out the way, lambs are a wee bit stronger, just in case it does, you know, the weather does do what it did this year and it was an absolute red up. You've got those lambs, you know, they're fairly robust, they should be fine, so you can kind of leave them to get on with it in a sheltered field. Obviously still checking, I don't mean like leave them, but you know what I mean. So that's the plan. But what I do is, so I put the teaser in for 2 weeks, give them the red crayons for 2 weeks, and then give them blue for 2 weeks. And then anything that repeats will fall into the main lambing, which is absolutely fine. Like, the whole point is to try and get as many earlies tupped as possible, but ideally, as long as they're in lamb, as if they fall, you know, if they repeat and they fall into the main lambing, well, they'll be at the start of the main lambing, or they could be later on in the main lambing, as long as they're in lamb, you know. So hopefully the plan being that, you know, we'll try and get as many of them in lamb and holding, but they do get plenty of chances. And then if there is anything still empty when Davy scans them, well, they've had like 2 months with the tups, so there's absolutely nothing coming over them. They're going. I'm not keeping them. They've had plenty of chances. So it might sound a bit backwards, but that's just the way I work it, and it seems to work fine. So anyway, taking them in, changing their colour to blue today, and giving them a shift because they've fairly been eating this new grass down quite well. And can you believe it? We have blue skies, we have sunshine. It was a real hard frost this morning, but oh my god, this is just lovely now. If we could just get a good spell of weather like this, the cows could stay out a bit longer, the ground would dry up, and then we might get the straw baled. That'd be nice. So yeah, just if we could just get caught up, it'd be fine, because it is just a thought taking the cows in already, to be honest. Anyway, enough waffling from me. I'm gonna go and get these ewes in and get these crayons changed. So this is our handling system that we've got up in the shed. So I'm just gonna run the ewes from the big bit in here round up the crush, and then I'll just change the crayons and the crush on the tups, and then they'll just go straight out where the light is, back to the field. So as you can see, the ewes have been in here a couple of times, so hopefully they'll know the score. That'll do. Lie down. Lie down. It's a very small door, so of course it's all go or no go. But it's a fine wee space. It's great for lambing time when it was miserable. You can see them just going up the crush through there, so that's good. Probably see what like we are for space with that, to be honest. So it looks like we're going to fit them all. There's a wee bit of space in this back pen out. So I'm just going to go through. I'll maybe be able to change the video actually. No, out! See what like. Come on, girls. Obviously, as you can see, they're in big order. There's some back. They actually flow through this so well. So it's just ewes, so I'm gonna go and let them out. Oh lass. Guys are just filtering through. Rox is running about out there. Yeah, the tup's in the race, and then change their crayons. 2 in this race. Oh lass, you're alright. So get them changed and let them out. They are in big order. Well, some of these boys have been working hard. Not much left of that one. Some of these will get a wee touch more out of maybe. But yeah, that's not going to leave much of a mark. Considering how cold it was, but I'm not complaining. It's lovely. So that's all the crayons changed. It's a bit of a messy job, but that's what I like about those harnesses. It's really handy because they just like clip in and clip out. I know there's some different ones that you get and you've got to like fiddle about the pin and stuff, and it gets a bit stressful, but they're so quick and easy, just as you saw in the race, just quickly click in, click out. So no, it's really good. So pleased with how many are tupped so far. We've got over 50 tupped, I would say, at the moment, so that's fine. It was a slow start, they were really slow, but I think it's just the way the weather's been as well, to be honest. They were a wee bit slow last year too, if I mind rightly, so this week and next week should probably see a good batch of them, hopefully. But yeah, just a way to let them out now down below. So shift them onto this other bit down here, so we'll give them a fresh bite. And yeah, we'll see what happens, but they're not really needing much, to be totally honest, because they're chunky. Timmy here, so this is our teaser, so I'm going to let him out with the gimmers here. They'll probably run away. Oh, Moon! So he'll stay with them for 2 weeks and hopefully get them cycling a wee bit. That's it, girls, come on. I quite often see them and sometimes they can think it's a sheepdog. So when he went in with the early ewes, they all ran the opposite direction. So we'll see. So this is obviously the first time that these gimmers will have seen tups. So I'm sure he'll get on fine. These other ones are coming in about, so that's good. I'll probably have to chase after them for a wee minute, but off he goes. So these are all the tup lambs here. A few pet lambs left. But they're all going this morning, so Float's coming to pick up them. Averaging 39 kilos. And here we have the ewe lambs. So there's 72 of them. Again, got a few pets left over. So hopefully they'll come into reasonable money. They're good enough lambs, so fingers crossed. I've got these few ewes that are just heading to the mart as well. So these are ewes that I'm no longer breeding with. They've had mastitis, so just getting rid of them. And hopefully they'll come into good enough money too. They're in good enough nick, so be fine. So I know I said I wasn't going to sell stores, but I've changed my mind. Classic. Basically, I didn't want to sell them in stores. I was going to keep them and finish them myself, but price is starting to fall and grass is fairly starting to disappear now, so I thought we'd be okay. But I'm wanting to obviously prioritise my ewes now, so I'm just going to offload these guys just now. There's 102, I think it is, total. So, you know, considering the number of lambs that we've sold fat and lambs that we've reared this year, you know, I'm really pleased. To middle of October, we're only got 100 stores to sell. We'd usually have about between 60 and 80 depending. So lambs have done really well considering. But I just hope that I can get good enough money for these guys to keep my average up. Hopefully, but it is what it is. They are going to be sold conditional, so if I'm not happy with the price, I'll just take them home and I'll think of another plan. But I'm not going to give them away. Basically, they're good lambs. I'm not giving them away. So we'll see what they make, see what happens. I'm just going to go load up those 4 ewes and take them, and then they're going to one mart, and then the lambs are going to another mart just because sale days. Got our open day tomorrow, so try to clear the decks, get everything sorted for that, get everything tidied up. So yeah, it's hectic, it's dry, the sun is out again, which is lovely. So let's crack on and see what our store lambs make. So I'm currently sat guarding this open gate, but we are going to be taking this batch of cows and calves across the road and in a gate down there, giving the calves their first pneumonia vaccine. So we vaccinate them before they come inside with the hope that they will be covered and they won't get sick. So they'll get one now, and then they'll get a booster in, I think it's 3-4 weeks time. So they'll be inside by then. So hopefully get all that done. We aren't sure yet if we're going to put them back outside or not. I mean, the grass is pretty much non-existent. You can see there's some marks there. They have eaten it to the clay, basically. So we'll wait and see if they're going to go back out or not, because obviously I need the grass for tupping on. But we need to get the barley brews, we need to get cattle courts set up, etc. So it's not just a case of put them inside and keep them inside. There's a bit of preparation to be done. We can't do the prep until the barley's shifted, so we're sort of waiting for it to get bruised before we can do things. Otherwise we'd have it all set up and it'd be fine. So we'll wait and see. That'll sort of be a last minute decision, but if they do go out, they'll be staying very close hand, so that when we do get everything set up, it'll just be a case of nip them back in. I mean, ideally, if we were to get weather like this, it's very windy. I hope you can hear me over this. Very windy, you know, sort of blue skies. It's relatively mild. If we could get another 2-3 weeks of this, that would be perfect. If we could keep the cows outside that a wee bit longer. But it's sort of a catch-22, as I said. We need the grass for tupping on. And yeah, we might just have to bite the bullet and keep them inside, but we'll see. So they're just gathering there. Dad's just gone to pick up if I can use my hand there, he's just gone to pick up the mineral buckets. So he'll just sort of try and gather them slightly, and then it's an operation to get them out this gate and make sure the calves are the right side of the fence. So I think that's it for this video. I have just popped inside because it is blowing a hoolie out there. So I thought it'd be easier to hear me in here. The lambs I was quite disappointed with, to be honest. Sort of around that 70-80 mark, which I felt was not quite enough really. But at the end of the day, I had to weigh up in that split second if I took them back home, where was I going to put them, the cost of buying creep for them, the potential issues, you know, you potentially lose them, you potentially get them crippled, and then you have to jab them, withdrawal, etc. So in that split second decision, I thought just sell them. You're disappointed, but it's only for a small number of lambs. You know, the rest of the lambs, as I've mentioned before, they've done really well this year. So yeah, I was really disappointed, but like I say, I had to weigh up the decision in that split second. So yeah, they're all away. The ewes, they were top of £202 for the Texel, and the mules, they were 72, I think, which again was quite disappointing. But you're better getting £72 for them than them raking about here, or, you know, something happens, she goes on her back and ends up dying and you have to pay to get her taken away. So yeah, it's just the time of year as well. You know, everyone's having a bit of a clear out. So yeah, I was on the whole a bit disappointed. So that's it for this one. It has been a mad busy week. I hope you have enjoyed it. As always, please do let me know, and there will be a cow one coming very shortly, maybe two. So yeah, thanks as always for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's fairly starting to get quite blustery out there, so I'm gonna go and wrap up and get back out there. Thanks again. We'll see you for the next one.